Hey there guys, Reaper here, and in today's video I'm going to be showing off a bit of the Warsword Conquest mod for Mount & Blade Warband. So basically, if you are familiar with this mod, there's just been a massive update recently. At the end of May, the full version just went live, so there's been a huge amount of updates. So maybe if you've played this mod in the past, but you haven't played in a while, you haven't played in the past week or so, there's been a massive content update, so I thought I'd show you that off now, even if you are familiar with the mod. If you're not, but you have Mount & Blade Warband, maybe you're looking for a few mods to play, or if you're just a subscriber to the channel, and you kind of need a new game to play, this is a really nice, amazingly detailed mod for the game which you might be interested in anyway. So if you're not familiar with Mount & Blade Warband, which is the base game that you'll need to pay to play this mod, the mod's completely free. But if you don't have the base game, unfortunately I can't really help you in this video. I'm only covering the mod for this, so I'm assuming already that you know and have an understanding of Mount & Blade Warband. So if you don't, unfortunately I can't help you. If you think the game looks interesting, go look up, there's plenty of videos now. The base game has been out for some years now. Look up Mount & Blade Warband if you think it looks interesting. And if you do pick it up, this is a really cool mod. So basically, Warsword Conquest is the Games Workshop's Warhammer fantasy lore put into the Mount & Blade engine. So you've got all the factions of that game. So there's the Games Workshop fantasy lore put into the Mount & Blade engine, essentially. So there's been a massive content update. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm currently playing as the Warriors of Chaos. I've just named my guy Some Bloke just to get kind of a save, just to show things off. I'm currently in the Kislev area, which is a new area. What I'm going to do first is show the map. It's got 66 troops, including me. So they've put the entirety, or not the entirety, but a pretty faithful representation of the Warhammer Fantasy map. You'll recognise this island immediately as Ulthuan. That's the High Elves area. So I'm just going to show the map off briefly first. Again, if you've played the mod before, there have been some updates. So you can get a bit more of a feel for what's changed by looking at the map. So up north, all these red territories, this is my current loyal faction. These are the Warriors of Chaos. So all this northern snowy territory is the Warriors of Chaos. This kind of weird, kind of bluey white colour in the kind of more southern kind of snowy area, bordering the Empire. This is Kislev. This is one of the new factions, if you haven't played in a while. Of the new update, you've now got Kislev live, as well as the Empire. This used to be the border between the Empire and the Chaos area. You've now got Kislev, which is really nice considering they didn't even make it into the tabletop fantasy game. To have them in this is really cool. And again, if we go down slightly, we've got the Empire here as the main. You can remember Altdorf, Marienburg, Talabheim, Nuln. You recognise all those cities. Middenheim and Wolfenberg are castles. But that main orange area is the Empire territory. This small black area here to the east, this is the Vampire Count, another new faction. Really nice to see them in as well. The sort of detail on the model work is amazing. You've got a few humans, you've got the zombies, skeletons, blackguard, blood knights. So all the really cool Vampire Count units. Unfortunately, there's no magic in this game. That would be quite ambitious. That would be amazing to see that, but unfortunately there's none of that. However, the Vampire Counts have now made it in as of the recent update. They've lost a bit of territory, but the dwarves are here along the edge. You've got Karazakarak, Sufbar, Karak Kadrin. Got a bit of territory left, a few villages. You've got a bit of the Orcs territory there. If we go further south, a bit more of this dark green area is the Orcs territory with the capital of Ironrock. Further south, the Goblin territories, Bloodhorn, I believe is their capital. Can't remember, so a few of the captured dwarf territories there taken by the Night Goblins. And if we go a bit more central, so just south of the Empire, again another new faction is the Wood Elves. These guys just kind of cropped up right in the middle here. So they're in all their sort of unique units you recognise in the tabletop game, they're in there as well. A couple more dwarf territories they've got back here. Further south, you've got a couple of Skaven areas. They did have a little bit more, but they lost a bit to the Pirates, which are the blue guys here. So you've got the Pirates further south. The Skaven kind of in between some of the mountainous areas. A bit further north, just to the west of the Empire, you've got the Bretonnians. It's all the sort of Bretonic-sounding French names. To the west is sticking out a bit. This is, they've lost a bit. Gorespite, they've lost to the High Elves, which you can see on Ulthuan here. That's a very, very distinct island. You've got the Beastmen, another new faction. The Beastmen have made it in. You did have the Warriors. There's Demon units as well. They're kind of part of the Warriors of Chaos. They're not a separate faction. But you get loads of Demon units for both sides. And you've got Herdstone, you've got Greathorn, you've got all the Beastmen stuff. They made it in there, really cool as well. So the Pirates there in blue. High Elves we've covered already. To the southwest, right in the bottom left corner, you've got the Lizardmen, which is what I've got one of the saves. I'll show them off in a fight in a minute. But that's the Lizardmen territories. They've just taken Nagasaki, which is now being besieged by the Nipponese, which is a very obscure faction. They are in the lore as kind of a pseudo-Japanese, kind of Japanese kind of culture-inspired race. So they're in there as well. They've got this western territory. They had a bit of territory here, which we took. or they did in my Lizardmen game, which it looks like they're about to take back now. But that's the Nipponese area there. And a bit further in the top left, you've got the Dark Elves. You've got all the really cool Dark Elf units. You've got the Witch Elves, Executioners. They got the repeater crossbows in this, which is really cool. The level of detail in some of the units is amazing. The troop trees, you've got the mercenary troop trees from the Dogs of War and the Regiments of Renown. So you've got the Al-Qatani Fellowship, you've got the Leopard Company, you've got Duelists, you've got the Pirate Mercenaries, you've got Leadbelcher Ogres. You've also got, speaking of the Ogres, Ogre Kingdoms did not make it in as a faction in this version. However, there are tons of, not monster size, but monstrous size. You've got Trolls fighting for the Chaos and for the Goblins. You've got Ogres in various factions. The Pirates have got Ogres Leadbelchers with big ass cannons. You can blow up 5 people at once. There's Ogre Mercenaries around. There's Trolls, there's Chaos Trolls. You can get those in Chaos as well if you're lucky. Further south, you've got the Tomb Kings in this kind of blue area here. So you've got monstrous units as well, which is really nice to see them. They're a little bit glitchy, but they're amazing to see. You also got all the unique mounts for the races. So Orcs and Goblins have got their Boars and their Wolves, and the Squigs as well. The Squigs are great to see running around. You've got regular war horses for the kind of the Empire and the Bretonnians. Got a few variations there. You've got the skeletal horses for the vampire counts. Chaos have got their massive war horses. You've got kind of smaller elven war horses. You've got boars. You've got squigs. You've got the wings. I'm going to show you these in a minute. They look amazing. The Kislevites have got the winged hussars based on the Hungarian. I think they're based loosely on the Hungarian cavalry unit. They look fucking amazing when you see them. You've got skeletal steeds. You've got the cold ones for the Dark Elves and the Lizardmen. Just the level of detail and the amount of kind of the unique mounts, the unique sort of units, the weapons. Every faction, unlike, this is one of the advantages of playing this mod over the native Mount and Blade. When you play the base game, I love Mount and Blade to bits, the native version, but you're kind of, everyone is a human faction with a few kind of unique sort of standout units and a few unique weapons. They have sort of similar-ish gear. In this game, everyone looks unique. You've got different model sizes, so the Dwarves and the Skaven and the Goblins are quite small. The Chaos models are enormous. They're about 7 feet tall, and they look so imposing on the battlefield. The Elf models look a bit nimble. The Saurus guys look quite bulky as well. You've got different model sizes. You've got the Arabians. They made it into the game as well, in this kind of western, sort of deserty areas. You've got the Arabic troops in there as well. The amount of detail is absolutely staggering that made it into this mod. So hopefully I didn't ramble too much there. I wanted to cover a bit of just the map and all the factions as well. So what I've done is I've kindly got my Chaos save up here in a minute. So I've got my Guy Son Bloke. I've got a bunch of Chaos units. What I'm going to do, I need to upgrade a few units anyway. So I'm going to go in just to show them off in the kind of picture form. So I've got a few Mercenary Chaos Ogres. They're really expensive, but you'll see them kicking some arse in a minute when I fight the Kislevites. All the sort of Marauder variations. You've got some Pit Fighters. They're quite cool. The massive, look at that Nurgle guy. That Chaos armor is exactly how it should look, and he's got a ridiculous two-handed weapon. More basic looking Marauders. You've got the Zealots. They're quite cool. Khorne Knights. That is how a Chaos Khorne Knight should look. They've nailed the design. I love that. Got Nurglings, you've got a few demon units here as well. Plague Bearers, a bit bigger. My Chaos Troll looks smaller in the picture there than he does in the map. So you've got different Marauder styles. They can go into Khorne or Nurgle units, or you can have undivided sort of chosen units. Big King, Hunters, so they've got throwing weapons and sort of light horses. Got a couple of Chaos Dwarf units in here as well. They look like the old style 5th edition tabletop Chaos Dwarves. They're pretty cool. Chaos Knights. The Ogres, as I've said, I'm just going to upgrade a few of my units. So a Pit Fighter, upgrade you to a Vet, just make sure my force is at full fighting strength. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to have a brief cut. I'm going to go into this Kislev fight, show them off so I can show off the Kislev, which is one of the newer factions, of course, and the Chaos Warriors, just because they're obviously in the last edition, however they've looked, kind of their styles changed a lot. They look a bit more imposing, a bit more threatening on the map, and when you're in a battle, just the size of the models makes them look a lot more stand out. And then afterwards I'm going to go to my Lizardman save, and I can get into a fight with the Nipponese, just so I can show you off the cold ones, and just to show you again one of the new factions. It's got two fights for me to show, and 4 factions to show off in combat. So I'm going to have a brief cut. Thank you very much, I'll see you in just a moment. Okay, so as promised, first up we've got the Chaos, which is my team versus the Kislevites, who are the faction just south of us. So you can see my guys here got a couple of demon units, got the Mercenary Ogres, they stand out quite well. They're really nice for taking out kind of heavy cavalry in a shield wall. Once they get caught up, they do a ton of damage. So they're great at taking them out. You can see the Chaos Knights there on the end. Just got a few of those. I'm just going to bring those with me. And you can see me decked out in a set of Chaos armor. There are the Kislevite Winged Hussars. So they're the guys based loosely off the, I think it's the Hungarian kind of heavy cavalry unit from history. That is an armoured bear. And if there's anything that Mount and Blade was missing, it might have been an armoured bear. We now have it. So anyone who is a fan of the Northern Lights, we now have armoured bears in the game. So if you like armoured bears, and you should, you can play as the Kislev. Any of that, got a nice variety of Chaos troops here. So we've got the Marauders, they stand out with kind of their bare chests. Heavily armoured Chaos guys, we've got a couple of the Nurgle Plague Bearers and Nurglings in there. You've got the Nurgle Crushers, who are the huge kind of green coloured Chaos Warriors with the heavy armour, who are decked out in the massive 200 weapons. They're really nice. I think the Kislev guy's got quite a few archers in his unit, so I'm just going to charge my infantry in before I get shot up too much, because the Marauders don't have very much armour. A lot of two-handed weapon axe guys here. Got the light cavalry with the bows. I'm just going to make sure my Chaos Knights are corn. Stick them here, really useful for taking out the cavalry once you get around them, so they should be able to cut them up. Fight's going pretty well. Most of that's green, all that text, which means it's friendly kills. There's Yoga, gets pushed back slightly by this guy, but I think he takes him out. There we go. They do a ton of damage. There's the Chaos Troll there in blue. So you get the monstrous units. They have huge amounts of health, probably about at least 200 health. Decent armour, and they one-shot all but kind of the strongest enemy units, so they're great. Once the cavalry gets in, they can great just taking them out, or heavily armoured, hard to take down units like these Hussars have got really high armour. Great at taking those out. So you've got a great, as well as just being a useful unit, infantry now get a bit more of a chance. You've got a few monstrous guys in there. It's a lot easier to take out those heavy cavalry that can smash through your lines, so you can have a more powerful shield wall if you like. So a big block of solid infantry, get a few heavy guys in there, and they'll make sure if any cavalry get caught up in your shield wall, they're going to smash them down. Plus they look cool as well. Quite expensive, but really nice. So this fight's going pretty well. This guy won't let me leave, but it seemed to do pretty well. Nice shot by that arrow in the chest there. Chaos Knights still seem to be alive. There's the wings on the back of the horses. They look really nice. So look at the size difference. You actually choose human is actually a separate choice to Chaos, just because the human Chaos model is actually about a foot bigger. You can see just how much more bulky, even with the armour, you can just see how much bigger the Chaos Warrior models are compared to the Kislevites, who have the standard size ones. You see the Chaos Dwarf there as well has a smaller model. So you do get different size units as well. So the Skaven, the Goblins, they actually have a smaller hitbox. They're smaller to hit. The Chaos guys just look bigger. They look imposing. Look at the armour. Got the red eyes on the helmet. Really nice looking stuff. So that fight's going to win there. So hopefully that shows off the Chaos and the Kislevites as well. So the Chaos, lacking ranged units, only have kind of throwing weapons on their light cavalry and a couple of the Marauders. But they're really nice, really heavy shot cavalry, and just really cool core strong infantry as well. So that was that fight. It's going to have a brief cut, and we're going to get into the Lizardmen versus Nippon fight. So you're going to have a brief cut now. Okay, so as promised again, we've got the Lizardmen now. This time I'm on foot, so I'm going to be kind of in the shield wall, and I've got a unit of cavalry which I'm going to try and use to flank around. That is actually a Wood Elf I have in my party, so that's an example of one of the Glade Riders. So you can see I've got quite a solid core, a couple of mercenaries there, and a big load of skinks. You can see there on the left, and a kind of solid Blockosaurus on the right. So these are the Nippon guys. So you can see kind of the samurai style kind of armour they use. And again, you see the guys, there's my Cold One Cavalry, so I've got my really cool Lizardmen Cold Ones going on there. Saurus on the back of those look really imposing. So you see this Japanese style kind of samurai armour in red. These are the Red Devils. They made it into the kind of fan-made, I think, army book for the tabletop game. These guys look amazing. Really hard to take down as well. They're a nightmare. So basically what I'm going to do, the infantry's about to show up. I'm going to send my Cold One Cavalry round in a big charge. As well as the regular Cold Ones, you've also got smaller versions of Stegodons. You just got Triceratops as cavalry. I'm going to take this guy out with throwing weapons because he's a pain in the arse. Another samurai style armour there. I think that was their leader. So there's my Cold One Cavalry moving up the sides. You've got the Triceratops, which is basically a mini Stegodon on some of the skinks. They have ridiculous health and charge damage, so they're really nice. Taking a few hits. Hopefully I can bring my cavalry round to smash into his archers. Look at them go. Look at the threat going on there. It's just amazing. So hopefully my infantry can take out what infantry of his does get in. So you got kind of the more peasant style with the kind of bamboo. I think not bamboo, whatever it is. The sort of more basic armor is made of versus the Japanese style, more samurai armor, kind of the heavily armored guys. Here, so you got kind of the peasant units, and you got kind of the elite warrior class samurai units. Unfortunately, got taken down there, but thankfully, in this version of the mod, you can just keep moving around after you've died. So troops keep going. You can choose to repeat, but you're not automatically pulled out. So the Cold Ones and the rest of the dinosaurs, you can see one of the skinks going around on the dinosaur there. Seem to do a pretty good job mopping up their archers. They're a bit softer than the kind of harder samurai units that came into our infantry block, but we managed to deal with most of them because they're a bit rarer. But we managed to take out most of his troops. Gives you just another panning shot there. Is one of the mini Triceratops. You can ride them yourself. You do need riding skill 7, so it will take a while, but they're a really nice asset to have in the army. So to have them smash into the lines, just kind of a heavy shot cavalry unit. Lizardmen, again, more samurai style bows as well. So they've got archers. They've got a few basic kind of black powder, gunpowder weapons. I refer to it as black powder. these red devils are a really big nightmare. The Cold One champion manages to take him down. And you can see you got kind of the paler blue for the kind of more elite swords. You've got the purple colours for kind of the Temple Guard and the Revered Guardians. That is one of the Glade Guard. So if you play as the Wood Elves, that's a bit what the basic Glade Guard looked like. Just because the enemies had them as prisoners, so I picked him up. Taking a few casualties, but it looks like the cavalry's done a good job of mopping everything up, and we've taken them out. So hopefully that gave you a nice enough look at the Lizardmen and the kind of basic Nipponese troops, just to see how they pan out. So thank you very much guys for watching. Hopefully that covers everything you need to know. Just as a kind of, I'm going to end the video there just as this ends, but I'd just like to say as a little kind of pat on the back to myself, I did just hit 50 subscribers. Again, a lot of you thinking 50 subscribers is nothing, and compared to a lot of bigger channels, 50 is nothing, but I think a lot of people who understand having a smaller channel, those first 50 can take a long time. And it's just kind of a little pat on the back to myself. I've got more videos than subscribers, just because it can take that long to get that initial hump. But just as a little mini milestone to myself, just pat on my back there, I managed to hit 50 subscribers. So thank you to everyone who subscribed to the channel. Very much welcome to hear that I've just hit a mini milestone. And hopefully things will go up from here. So these is just, you can get a kind of closer up look at some of the Nippon units. Just as I'm looking through them in the inventory screen, there's a Croxigor, which are really nice to have. I've just got that captured and put in my army now. So that's basically the ogre unit the Lizardmen get, so he's kind of a lizard version of that. Massive two-handed hammer. Again, really nice. That's going to be useful taking out those heavy cavalry that come up against. Really high damage. Love that we've got those. Got kind of the more elite red-crested skinks, ninjas, because why not? And I managed to get some more Cold One riders to replace a couple that I lost. So thank you very much guys for watching. If you have any more questions about the video, please let me know. If you like the video, please do like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. Maybe I can hit 100 before the end of the year. That would be a nice little milestone as well. Any questions, let me know. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.